Everyone is always like, journal. You're going to change your life. You're going to change your mindset. You're going to become so much more confident. You're going to manifest everything you would ever want. It is one of the most common pieces of self-help advice that everyone from creators to therapists will tell you to do. And that's because it actually is a life-changing tool that can help you break through any mental blocks, reduce your anxiety, better your mental health, design a life you actually want, and connect with yourself on a deeper level. But the catch is you need to actually have the right journaling techniques to be able to extract all of the benefits you want from it. It's not just about opening a book, writing about your day, and then hoping for the best. You need to know what you want to achieve to be able to see real results and progress. I've been journaling for 5 years now, and I've made so many mistakes on my journey, along with seeing so many other people with their endless amount of questions and confusion on how do you actually journal, how do you start, how do you make sure that it's actually efficient and contributing to where you want to be in life. And I've learned so much over my years of journaling. So in this video, I'm gonna break it all down for you. First, we're going to break down why you're getting journaling wrong and all of the common mistakes so you know exactly what to avoid. Then we're going to go into how you actually start, which benefits you're going to choose. Then we're going to go into how to actually journal correctly and the techniques that you need to practice to be able to get all of those benefits you've just chosen. And lastly, right at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a quick list and breakdown of some extra journaling ideas that you can also utilize. Before we get into it, I want to give a big thank you to Skillshare, who are the sponsor of this video. I wanted to feature them in this video because I've been using them more than ever lately as I've just started a new business journey, which you can check out on my website, tamkaur.com, where I also sell my brand new journal, which helps you achieve ultimate self-growth according to the techniques that I've used on my journey over the last 5 years of journaling. If you didn't know, Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry experts across so many different topics, such as film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, business, art, and so much more. Skillshare is all about helping you take your skills, your career, your hobbies to the next level. The class I'm currently taking is called Your Solopreneur Strategy: How to Build a One-Page Business Plan to Keep Growing Your Business with Clarity. I'm finding this class really useful, and it immediately stood out to me because I really want to refocus on my business mission while understanding how I should best grow my team. And the videos in this class break this down really simply, which is helping me gain clarity on what to keep versus what to outsource to other people as I continue to hit all of my business goals. But aside from the class I'm currently taking, I also love the learning paths on Skillshare. If you didn't know, learning paths are basically a curated collection of classes so that you can master any skill or hobby that you desire. There are so many different learning paths you can take on Skillshare, which have curated sequential classes from start to beginning so that you have all of the information you would ever need. If that sounds like something you want to try so that you can level up yourself and your life in 2025, then check out my unique link in the description, because the first 500 people to click on it will receive their first month of Skillshare completely free. Okay, chapter number 1, why you're getting journaling wrong. Not enough people talk about this. They're always throwing extra ideas on how we can journal, and I personally think it's confusing, it's overwhelming, you never know where to start, and you're not actually adapting the journey and the process of journaling to your unique needs and your personal life, which is essential. I also think a lot of brands and a lot of people had normalized this process of journaling in 5 minutes or only writing 3 lines a day, which I can definitely see is great for a beginner or getting started. But at the end of the day, journaling is about writing as much as you can to actually start to understand and analyze and process and learn from the thoughts you have going in your mind. I'm talking deep in the back of your mind, all the way in your subconscious, the thoughts that you're not even consciously aware of day to day. When you take the time to journal and write one full page or a double page spread, that's when you are really going to make progress. You are really going to build that connection with yourself. Writing 3 lines about, I'm grateful for this, I ate this isn't how much water I drank, is it making real change on your journey? It's an example of aesthetic self-development without any real substance behind it. But to really dive into why we get journaling wrong and what that looks like so you really get it, I'm going to bring in our favorite girls to illustrate this example, Lola and Athena. Both of these girlies are on their self-development journeys. They both want to level up into the best version of themselves in 2025, and they've been journaling for a while because, duh, it's literally in everybody's wellness routines. Why would they not? But they do journal slightly differently, and this is how they do it. I try to be really consistent with my journaling. I just open it up every single day and just write whatever comes to my mind. Whenever I open up my journal and I'm about to write, first I take a moment to actually set an intention. This helps me gain clarity on what I actually want to explore today and get to the root of. Maybe sometimes it's because I have some emotional stuff I need to get off my chest. Maybe sometimes it's because I need clarity on goals that I'm thinking about. It's honestly just all suited to me and my personal needs so that I can make real progress on my journey. What do I write in my journal? Just about my day. Like I just write my thoughts and just document what I'm thinking. Oh, I really dive deep into my thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it's not even about documenting my entire day, but really fixating on something that stood out to me that day so that I can fully process it and I'm not bringing in old baggage into the rest of the week. Oh yeah, I filled up so many pages in my journal. This is like my 3rd journal now. I just keep writing and storing up all of my journals. I don't think there's any point in journaling and filling up loads of journals if you're not actually going to go back and read through them, because that is where you're going to find all of your patterns and all of the gold and the answers to your problems. So I make it a habit every month or sometimes every week. I have alerts in my calendar to remind me to go back through my journal and read through my old entries. It really helps me see how I've grown so that I can feel proud of myself and celebrate my successes, but also what I need to work on if there are any cycles that I can clearly read that I am still stuck in. I think it's so good to journal whenever you feel upset or you're going through something negative. I love that. Like I will literally open up my journal and I will scribble everything out and I will just vent and get all of my complaints off my chest. It's the best. Sometimes I love using pages to just vent and get all of my emotions onto paper, so then afterwards I can think about them more clearly. But I don't just vent. Once I've got all of that thought and emotion onto paper, I start to think about how I can start dealing with that in a healthy way and how I want to move forward. Oh, and the reason that I even started journaling is because people say it's really good at manifesting your desires. So every now and then I'll always write out a list of everything I want so that hopefully it will come true. Today, I actually wrote an abundance of money, a really successful career, the best friendship group that I've always wanted, and I just wish for a lot of things and write them down. Journaling is such a powerful manifestation tool, but when I write about my goals, I make it imperative that every single time I write as if they have already happened, because that in itself is you manifesting. You see the difference? Now here is the guide and the breakdown to being a little bit more like Athena and ensuring that you are getting real progress and real benefit and real joy and success out of every single journal entry that you write. Chapter number 2, how to start journaling by choosing your intention and your benefits. We're starting with this chapter because first and foremost, it's so important to choose your intention, and then we'll dive into the journaling technique and strategy afterwards. I also want to say it's really important right now, before I even say these benefits, that you decide what is important to you right now, what you value at this moment in time. When I read out these benefits, you're going to want all of them, okay? Everybody does. And guess what? You are going to get all of them, but it's really important to narrow down your focus per each phase of your life. So please don't try to get everything now and squeeze every journaling technique in now, because you're going to be too overwhelmed and journaling is going to take too long and be too much effort. So an example for me on my journaling journey over the last 5 years, when I first got my journal, it was blank. I barely even had a strategy. For me, it was more of an emotional release to process the hard times that I was going through. And then as I shifted, I got my next journal, and that was an entire manifestation journal as I was practicing scripting and future self journaling and rewiring my mind. Then I got another journal after that, and that was all about goals and tracking where I'm at and making sure that I am staying on top of my schedule and creating the life I want and being successful. Whereas now my current journaling journey looks like growth. I use my Obsessed with Growth journal, and this is based on how I was drawing up my technique in my blank journals before. It's all about making sure I'm growing into the best version of myself every single day, tracking my progress and staying as accountable as possible. And I know my journaling journey is going to change again, probably in a year or so. So just know that you don't have to stick with the same routine always. Okay, so the benefits are, number 1, growth. Journaling is so powerful at helping you grow into the best version of yourself because first and foremost, it helps you start to stay in tune with your intuition, which thus helps you build up your self-trust. Once you trust your own opinion, your thoughts, you understand who you are, how you think, how you approach things, no one can tell you ish about your life ever again. And because you're now building up that connection with yourself, you're growing into a better version of yourself because you're not distracted by all of this outside noise of what everybody else thinks or trying to blend in with them or fit into certain groups or compare yourself to other people. You are so tunnel vision on yourself because journaling is helping you see yourself and your life in that way. On top of that, journaling acts as this like mental time machine. I love to see it as a time capsule because even if all you are doing is just documenting your life, the process of going back and reading through all of those entries gives you so many answers on who you are, where you need to be, what patterns you're falling into, why. You know, you can see 2 weeks ago, I was having a really good day. Why? What was I doing? And you can read that entry and be like, oh, it's because I woke up at this time. It's because I worked out. It's because I saw my friends twice that week. Oh, right now I'm having a bad mental health week. Why? What am I writing about? Which shows what influences my mood, the phases that I'm in, and how I'm living and how I'm feeling. And this is why I always say that journaling really helps you be your own best life coach, because listen, nobody knows you like you know you. Nobody understands your life like you do. Nobody is living in your head, understanding every single thought that you experience on a daily basis like you do. By you taking that and putting it into a journal, you're not just forgetting all of those thoughts and all of that experience, you're writing it down and you're evaluating it. You're like auditing your life, and that is gonna help you grow faster than ever. The second benefit is, of course, manifestation. Because number one, when you're journaling to manifest, first you just need to write down your desires. Just that very practice of clarifying what is it that I want and why do I want that is going to put so much into perspective for you and remove any outside noise or focusing on things that you think you want or that other people have because it looks cool, but that doesn't really align with your personal vision or where you want to be or what your purpose is. When you are taking time to put yourself in a certain experience or to wish for something that you want, that's when you can fully understand all aspects of that desire and therefore make it even easier to bring it into your life. On top of that, journaling also helps rewire your subconscious mind. Just because of this process of repeatedly writing about your goals, about your manifestations, your desires, as you're writing about them, you're also forcing your mind to visualize yourself living them out and imagining what it would be like if you got that best case scenario. Journaling can really help create this emotional alignment, which is so necessary and probably, and honestly, the most important part of manifestation. I think don't do anything else. Don't even make a vision board. As long as you are aligning your emotions, you are going to manifest like this. And because you're journaling and writing pages, I'm talking pages of you living out your dream life, you have never felt it or visualized it stronger because you're really immersing yourself in that experience by like writing the story of you living it out. It's not just about writing a list of I wish this would happen for me, I hope this happens. It's writing this story of this is how I live, this is how I feel in the morning, this is what's happened to me since I got this, and life is better than ever, this is how I feel about myself, about the world. And in that process, your mindset is also being rewired because you are taking out all of that gunk and junk of self-doubt and negative thoughts and thinking that you're not going to get anything, because now your brain is so used to this process of seeing yourself live out your dream life because you're actually taking time to normalize that idea to your brain as you journal about it. So we've got growth, manifestation, rewiring your mind, and the fourth benefit is inspiration. Journaling is such a great tool to be able to clear out your mind, to allow more positive things to come into it, which will give you ideas and inspiration on your next steps forward. You can find out your purpose, you can find out what you really want to do, you can tap into those subconscious thoughts, because every single day we are picking up so much more noise and thoughts and stresses from everything around us, whether it be our work environment, people, worries that we have that come up day to day, and it's blocking us from actually accessing all of the thoughts and inspiration that we already have. Just by writing about something you're going through, already you can start tapping into new ideas and problem-solving techniques to get past it. And then the last benefit of journaling is self-love, improving the relationship you have with yourself, building up your self-esteem because of the way that you do your shadow work or the prompts that you are writing about or the way that you are reframing any worries or stresses that you have about yourself because you're taking the time to write about it. Journaling will encourage your self-awareness when you are actually really focusing on why am I going through this, or even considering other perspectives while you're journaling because you're deep diving into a particular situation to really understand it more. It creates emotional balance and self-acceptance. Okay, now that we've gone through all of the benefits, I want you to pick 1 or 2, maximum 3 benefits that you want to gain from journaling. Maybe you want to manifest while also rewiring your mind if you're someone who tends to think really negatively or doubt yourself. And then we're really going to create a strategy that helps you journal in that way every single day. And that leads us onto chapter number 3, how to journal correctly to extract all of those benefits we just spoke about. So in order for you to draw up the strategy that's going to work best for you in your journal, in this chapter, I'm going to go through all of the journaling benefits I just mentioned in the last chapter, but instead of explaining to you what those benefits are or why journaling gets you them, after every benefit mentioned, I'm going to tell you each technique you can use to get that benefit. Before I go into this, just to make sure it makes sense to everyone, I'll talk you through how I created my personal strategy with where I'm at with my journaling, which is why I literally made a full-on journal that everybody can get. It's called Obsessed with Growth. If you want to learn more about this, what's inside, why that's inside there, then you can go to selfobsessedjournal.com or tamkaur.com and you can read the description of this journal and you'll understand everything that's in there and why. And you can get the journal for yourself, or it can simply just give you inspo on your own journaling strategy that you want to draw out. So when I created this, I understood that what I really want is goal setting and goal tracking because I want to be super successful and I'm really in the era of my life where I want to focus on my career. So for me, that meant first and foremost, I need my current goal section and my gratitude. We already know gratitude is going to help me rewire my mind. It's going to help me manifest. Current goals is going to help me tap into my subconscious. It's going to give me that inspiration. It's going to give me those ideas I need to keep leveling up. Then we have my checklist. This is going to keep me on top of my goals, but it's also going to keep me accountable because now every single day I have to go back to my checklist and tick off what I did and what I didn't do. And then I also have my daily recap section and my mood tracker section. And this helps me go through all of my old entries. I can constantly read through them and understand the patterns or the cycles that I was in, the things that I do that influences a successful day versus a day full of procrastination. And that means I can constantly grow and change and make progress easier than ever. But then also every 7 days, I have a few different pages. I have my future self journal because manifestation is the key to growth, because it's changing your mindset. It's rewiring it to work in a way that aligns with your dream reality. So I have dedicated pages where I can align with the frequency and the emotion of the life I want to live. I have my progress checker. This is a reminder to read back through all of your entries from the last week. And then you have to write about it. You have to analyze what was working, what wasn't working, why. How am I going to change this for the next week so I don't continue being the same person, making the same old patterns, cycles, and mistakes as always. And then I have 2 blank pages. This is for emotional processing. I can't go into a brand new week and level up to the best version of myself if I'm carrying in stresses from 2 weeks ago. I gotta get all of that out onto paper to just release it and create more space in my mind. That's literally just a really quick summary of how I made my own strategy. And now this is how you can make yours. 1, if the benefit you want is self-growth, then you can take inspo from what I just said about my journal. That's all centered around growth. You can go back to my website and look at the description to see what I'm using. But to summarize this, I would say for growth, you need something that's going to encourage you to go through all of your past entries. You need a section for rewiring your mind. I would say a constant reminder where you can dump out any negative thoughts and then you get to vent and release all of that emotion. And then underneath it, you need to take all of the negativity that you just wrote and then you need to rewire it into something that benefits you, serves you, and aligns with you. Maybe it's, I had to go through this because I learnt 1, 2, and 3 lessons from it. Maybe it's, this had to go wrong because it's helping me enter new rooms and encouraging me to step outside of my comfort zone. Another idea for self-growth is to have progress trackers and checklists, because you are never going to grow into the person of your dreams if you are not looking at where you have been and how to grow from there. 2, if the benefit you want is manifestation, these are the techniques that you can use. 1 is future self journaling, like I just talked about in my journal. This is basically where you step into the shoes of your most ideal self, your dream self, your successful self, and you write about your dream life as if you have already achieved it. This helps rewire your mind. It helps get rid of those negative thoughts, and it helps you align your emotions and your frequency to your future self. Another idea is you can simply write about what you want, but I want you to write about it in present tense so that you can feel the emotions of it. You need to have a daily gratitude practice. This is so important because, like I said, you can vent about yourself having a bad day, but then you need to raise your vibration and raise your frequency again by focusing on what you're grateful for. I think you can either do like write 3 things you're grateful for that day, or pick 1 thing you're grateful for and you need to immerse yourself in the experience. Why are you grateful for that? What did it make you feel? What did it make you think? Did it inspire you in any way? And then you can also have scripting pages where you focus on repeating your desire and writing it down constantly to keep feeling that emotion within you and making sure that your mind is getting used to visualizing that reality. 3, if the benefit you want is to rewire your mind to make it work in your favor every single day, then first we need to focus on identifying what our limiting beliefs are and then getting them the F out of it. So for this, I think it is really important to have some sort of a daily recap section where you are just going to release any negative emotions or thoughts that you are hanging on to. For example, I'm scared I'm going to start my business and it won't work. Or I'm scared that people are going to find me cringy for posting on social media. Or I'm scared of turning up to that event and look like. You're going to write down your fears and all of your doubts. And then underneath, you are going to write the best case scenario for each of those limiting beliefs. You are going to reframe them and think, but if this goes exactly how I want to, what does that look like? How does that feel? How am I going to write about that like in a story? How would I describe that? 4, if the benefit you want is inspiration and new ideas and just mental space, this is what you're going to do. 1, you need free writing space. That is exactly why I have double page spreads called Let It Go all throughout this journal, which is designed for you to just scribble, write, rip, draw, express yourself in whatever way you want. Remember, this is always personal to you. It doesn't need to be neat. You don't need to have nice handwriting. It's about taking out all of the stuff in here that is not serving you and that is preventing you from focusing on the things that actually do. So this is always going to start with a brain dump. And if you're really struggling with this, then I highly encourage you guys to use prompts. If you do have my journal, there are 4 pages of prompts on different topics at the beginning of the journal. But if you don't have the journal, then you can always go onto Google or Pinterest and just type in any sort of prompts that are going to help you. And then lastly, 5, if you want a journal to build a stronger relationship with yourself, to heal, to build your self-love, then this is what you're going to do. 1, self-discovery is the most important. You can't love yourself if you don't even know who you are. Again, prompts are really, really good at this, which you can just find for free on Google. But you can always just make up your own prompts. I want you to ask yourself, like, who am I? What are my principles? What are my morals? What are my values? What makes me me? What are some ways in which I can't relate to other people? But actually that's my strength, because that's exactly what makes me unique. That's how I can identify myself, because that's my way of thinking about things or approaching things. And it's through finding all of those little quirks about you and the unique facts about you that helps you appreciate yourself more. Then with this, rewriting your narrative and rewiring your mindset is also really important. So I'd say go back to the previous step and really jot down anything that's not serving you and then start rewriting it in a way that serves you. But I really think you can really change this to solve any kind of inner struggles that you have. So for example, I feel really insecure about my nose. Okay, let's rewire this now. Let's change the narrative. Why? Who made me feel like this? When was the last time I was confident about this? Who has similar features to me that radiates confidence, and why can I not do that? How can I train myself to see it in a different way? And that brings us to the final chapter, some extra journaling ideas for you guys to try out. 1 is prompt journaling. You don't need to journal every single day if that's not what you want to do, girl. If you want to use it as an avenue to really connect with yourself on a deeper level in a way that you wouldn't normally be able to do so, then you need to use prompts in every single way. So in my journal, I have 1 page on future self prompts. That's all about manifestation, gratitude prompts, self-growth prompts, and shadow work prompts. There are so many shadow work prompts, especially on the internet, that you can use. This leads me on to the second way of journaling, which is keeping an inner child diary. So again, you can use younger self prompts for this, or you can just choose that every single page is a letter to your younger self. You are writing to them, you are letting them know that you are working on their hopes and dreams, you're really connecting with yourself that way, and thus building on your self-love. 3 is using your journal as a time capsule, as a scrapbook, as a way to document memories. Every single day, I want you to write about the day that you lived in as much detail as you possibly can. And this is purely for the people that want to be able to read back through their journals, to essentially be able to look back and remember every single detail of their life story. In this way, you are journaling and literally writing a book about your life in the process. The 4th way is tomorrow planning, or like future planning your life. And every single journal entry is about, this is what I want to do tomorrow, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is the ideal life I want to live, or the ideal day I want to experience tomorrow. Not only does it set up your mind and set up your focus and intention so that when tomorrow comes, you know exactly what you want to do, but it also starts building up that confidence, that visualization, and that motivation to be able to show up as your best self every single day, because you set the intention the night before in your journal entry. And then lastly, you can create a what if journal. Essentially, this is where every single journal entry is centered around what if scenarios. If you have an idea or if you have a desire, but it doesn't quite feel realistic to you yet, I want you to journal about it. Write it at the top and then delve deep into what that means and what that looks like for you. I think this is such an entertaining and cool way to journal. Let's say sometimes you fantasize about living in LA, but you've lived in the UK your entire life. What if? Are you going to go to Air One every single weekend? What is it going to feel like waking up to that weather every single day? What is your career going to be like? Who are you going to be surrounded with? I think this is also an amazing way to be able to grow and to be able to open yourself up to new experiences without being held back by the fear and the unknown. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have briefly mentioned my own journal a little bit throughout this video, but I have an entire dedicated video on my YouTube already talking you guys through Obsessed with Growth, how it's going to help you, what the features are, why they've been placed in there. So you can watch that video. It's linked right here. If you want to learn more about my journal, then as always, you can go to selfobsessedjournal.com or tamcore.com to learn more about it. But I am wishing you the best of luck on your journaling journey. I've been waiting to make a video like this for ages. Please comment down below. Let me know what the benefits that you want from journaling are, what techniques you're going to use from this video. I would love to know. I will be responding to as many comments as I possibly can. I'm so curious to see how all of you are going to journal in such a different way. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you same time next week on Friday for a brand new video. Bye and happy journaling.